Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode number 3 of Soul Talks with Lavanya. Wishing all you lovely mothers out there a very, very happy Mother's Day. And all you fathers out there as well, who often wear the hats of a mom, a very happy Mother's Day as well. So, who is our guest today? She is a woman of steel. She literally started her entrepreneurial journey with zero cash in her pocket. And today she heads a very, very successful business called Taxi. She is a single mom, a TEDx speaker, a World Bank awardee, and she is certainly a pride for all of us women and Indians. So let's put our hands together and welcome Miss Vandana Suri on my show. Hello, Vandana. Welcome. A warm welcome to you on our show.
Thank you so much. Where we met, where we are meeting again, and it's like a very small world around here.
Exactly.
So for all of you, I met Lavanya at my TEDx talks, and she was like my biggest fan out there. The next day, everywhere not next day, even an hour later, she was all over Facebook with and I was like, wow, I was so humbled by the entire thing.
I was really blown away by your thought process and the go-getter attitude and the way you spoke. Even after so much of achievement, you just were so down to earth and approachable to everybody out there. I really love that attitude of yours. So it's a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you. Shoot.
Okay, great. So let's start off. Where are you from, and what's your background?
Okay, so I'm from Bombay. I grew up in Bombay, and I was doing my 12th standard. Till my 12th, I did in Bombay, and then I came to Bangalore. And I'm a commerce graduate. I've done my CA course as well, and being here now from 25 plus years. It's been a long time.
Okay.
And I went into banking as a career. And so basically I've changed careers. I was doing my CA, and I never took up CA as a career, but I moved into banking as a career. I had never sold a thing in my life. I was the dumb one who wouldn't talk to my neighbor. And then I was into sales in banking. So total flip of the entire thing. And from banking, investment banking, I'm now a taxi driver, and I'm still enjoying myself.
That's the best part of it. You have a flavor of everything in your personality. Very, very interesting.
No experience gets wasted. No experience in life goes waste. Even the smallest thing that you think is like negligible, array, what did I get out of this? But it actually accumulates into a lot of things later in life.
True. Yeah. True. So tell us more about why did you choose taxi from a banking career? That was a settled career probably, because into the corporates people feel that yes, now I have achieved everything and I have got the salary to pay my expenses, EMIs, all these things.
Yeah.
But why all of a sudden the shift?
So the banking career, yes, was very comfortable. In fact, that also, if I look at all my life, the best has come out of the worst. Okay. So my banking career came up when I became a single mom. So I literally had a 1-year-old child and literally $100 in my pocket. And then whichever job was available, I just went and picked it up, right? I mean, it started like really rock bottom in life all over again. But it gave me a lot of stability, a lot of learning, and a lot of earning also, right? But something so drastic had to happen for something so beautiful to come out. Wow. Now, as a child, I think I was always a loudmouth. I was the Rajini. You remember the program used to come? No, I was a Rajini character who will take up the whole world's issues and fight. Even as a kid, I was always like that. So somewhere I think all that leadership bottled up was, waiting to get out. We just submerge it and be nice and coy. But while I was in this banking thing, I really had this incident of, there was a rape in an Uber in Delhi. This is after the Nirbhaya. And
Mhm.
somewhere that really triggered me so much. That lady actually told the next day that, if there was a woman driving me, this would not have happened. And that was what I said, oh yeah, this is something I want to do. And I think I was bold enough to do it. And all this so-called boldness, leadership, whatever was there was actually getting an outlet through this. And that's when I said, no, I have to do this, and I set it up. That was it. There was no looking back at all. There was no recontemplating it. Does it make business sense? Does this, that? Nothing. I just jumped because I had to do it. It's like when you have so much passion, you will make it work. Where you will make it work. It's as simple as that. So that's how it actually started. That triggered me enough to take a stand. That I'll do this. I'll get more to do this. And that's all.
That's very, very interesting because, first of all, you told me you are a single mom, which means
Yes.
obviously you have more responsibilities and the financial commitments and stuff.
Yeah, and a
And
lot of strength also comes with that,
that's true.
because
Yeah.
you don't have a backup anymore, right? So
Yeah.
you know that the beauty part, like I'm saying, like even for taxi, when your passion is so high, you're going to make it work. The
Hmm.
same way is for motherhood. If you're
Yeah.
a single mom, you're not going to desert your child. You are going to make it work.
Yeah.
And that I think that's what continues in business, in whatever we take up. I think there's a lot of strength behind wanting to make it work.
True. True. That's true. Were your family, your friends in support of this when you brought up this idea?
Oh, my mother fell off the seat. Totally. She said, he was like, "You want to be a taxi driver?" I said, "Yeah." But on the other hand, so before this, I was in that thing of wanting to get out for a few months before taxi itself. And I
Mm-hmm.
was telling her, I said, so tax sheet had not happened, but somewhere, within, you have to get out and you don't belong here anymore. So I was one day contemplating, and I was telling her, "Ma, if I start business and the next day the salary doesn't come, I don't know when it will come. Shall I do it?" And she said, "You survived so much with a 1-year-old child and 100 bucks in your pocket. You'll survive, man. Go take the plunge."
Wow.
Even now, even today, with this entire doldrum happening with the pandemic, I've been so upset this past 1 month. And I was telling my mom, I said, "Mom, I don't know if business will continue after this. How will I pay the salaries? I have loans on my head. This house can go." I was literally crying that day because I didn't know. I was feeling so broken down. And then she pulled me back again. And she said, "Hey,
Mm.
listen, I told you sometime back when you started that you came here with 100 rupees and you can rebuild it all over again. What are you going to lose?" And that, the beauty is that my mom keeps reminding me of that groundedness,
Yeah.
that, hey, listen, you can do it. So sometimes we forget that we can do it, and you need somebody to really tell you this. So
Absolutely.
that's working. Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic. It's really a blessing to have people at home, especially your mom,
Yeah,
who's
yeah, yeah.
supportive so much,
Oh, yeah.
truly.
Uh,
And I'm
you
sure
know,
a person, an entrepreneur who's done it once, even if he fails, I'm sure he can pick it up from nowhere and start off a career.
an entrepreneur sees so many zeros in his life, no? That zero is not a scary thing anymore. It's like, okay, come, let's face it.
Yeah. This is the attitude that I think many of our youngsters need to learn, because if it was a result season, then we would have seen so many people crying, saying, "I've got only 96% marks, mera kya hoga life mein." Like, what is happening to this world? And here we have people who started like a single mom with a 1-year-old kid and 100 rupees in the pocket and built like a whole new revolution.
Yeah,
Really,
yeah, yeah.
really great.
It's
Right. I really
adorable.
love your Facebook post where you talk about driving these small tiny tots and how they sing, they keep you going all through the drive.
100% entertainment guaranteed in the car. It's like, I think we moms, we especially single moms, all of us actually, I think we're so warped up in our own work and everything. We barely get time with our own children, but
Yeah,
others' kids we all enjoy. So
very true.
this is the reality. So it's like motherhood resurfacing, with other children. Now, हमारे तो बड़े हो गए, but अब वो तो छोटे छोटे, there are still more. But what entertaining conversations! I've had children who made drawings about taxi. So they have there's a different planet in their head called taxi planet,
Oh
where
my God.
so I'll tell you. You should listen to the story. So there are these 3-4 kids I drive from Bishop Cotton Girls, okay, and they have this in their head. So my car is the taxi planet when we are going anywhere. So it's a new place for them, and then they have names. So 3 girls, they've named each other Ina, Meena, and Dika. Okay, Ina,
Okay.
Meena, Dika is their names, and my name is Chingy Pungi Lungi Chingy. Okay, and I'm that logo of kangaroo, so that's how I look. And their stories are so amazing. I'm like, so what grows over here in your planet? And they tell me, listen, if we put bread no in the ground, then next day we get pizza. And
Oh,
I said, wow. Then I said, then what else? No, if we put cheese inside, then we get. I said, then you get cheese pizza next day. And they're like, no, we get burger the next day, burger with cheese in that.
acha.
So they have a pasta plant over there,
Wow.
where it's like the most
Amazing.
amazing story session happening in my car with these little cutie pies. I feel like biting them sometimes. It's just so adorable. So
Very cute. And look at the imagination. Pizza grows from a bread loaf buried in the ground. Oh God.
oh, they even have, so their own visualization is they're those minion characters in the
Acha.
serial. And then they're like, our daily song is Ina Mina Dika, because I taught them Ina Mina Dika in the car, okay? So
Ah.
we've been singing songs in the car. So now their names are that's our national anthem over there. Like, wow.
Very nice. Very nice. So
Benefits of
tell
being a
us.
taxi driver.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Tell us about your concept of ruse, because that's a very interesting name to coin. And why did you coin it that way? And who are these people?
So I think the concept of the roo came from the kangaroo, because when I was launching Taxi, I was wondering what animal, what logo to put, and I was like, hey, I want to drive kids, right? So I'm like that mommy carrying that little, Joey in the pouch kind of thing. So that's how the kangaroo logo was thought about. And again, it was literally a 1 minute decision. "Okay, this is it, and a kangaroo is very strong also. Kangaroo can really beat you back also. So
Hmm.
there's a very maternal side to the kangaroo as well as a very strong side. And that's where, it kind of came in. And all our, so we coined this branding very specifically because we wanted to take away this blue collar notion, driver hai, that respect of a lower culture. I said, just leave all this nonsense, I mean,
Hmm.
so we always went out and pitched to people that we were alternate moms driving your kids,
Right.
and not a driver, not a taxi person. Today, not a single client, and these are even random clients. So I'm not just talking about my existing, I'm even talking of random clients who just call us and they ask us for a roo, you know.
Hmm.
So this thing about a woman driver driving kids has become a brand like a roo,
Yeah.
and that's the beauty of the whole thing, because my girls don't believe they're drivers, they know that they're moms.
Yes.
That changes the entire working culture of the organization itself. So
True.
all our rules are, women from the underprivileged segments. We train them 6 to 8 months in driving. We train them in self-defense. We train them in soft skills, grooming, a lot of confidence building sessions. Their legal laws. She's suddenly a different, transformed person as far as
Wow.
confidence is concerned. Yeah. So a
True.
lot goes on behind.
True. True. Yeah. Tell us that story where you went to fetch one of those rules, as in a person who you wanted to work for you, and then you did not know the language, and there was a small girl who translated the whole
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Oh, that's a very
So this was
interesting thing I heard.
So this was my first, the first time I really, I mean, I was all alone when I started, right? And I said, now what do I do? So somebody told me there was a nurse staying, and she might be a good option for you to talk to. That lady said, I only know she stays in this area. I don't know where. What. I said, okay, chalo, we'll try. So it was a slum, and I go there, and I'm searching, where is this lady? I'm like literally asking door to door, where does this lady stay?
Hmm.
And I don't remember her name also now, but yeah. And so somebody was like directing me, and there was this little kid outside, jumping on this sand, a little heap of sand over there. I think she must have been about what, 6 years or something. A nice pavade, nicely she was dancing over there. So I'm trying to tell her because I can't talk Kannada, and I'm trying to tell her, "Wo lady hai na." I'm like really broken, some nonsense I'm talking to her, and she just looks at me like this, and she gives me a dirty look, and she says, "I know English," and she said it with
Oh,
a lot of style.
oh my
I
God.
said, "Wow." That was the only
Such a
thing.
relief.
So she said this lady whom I'm searching for is her aunt, and so she happily took me, and that lady was not there. But the interesting thing is, I said, now that lady's not there. Now what? She said, you leave me your number. 6 year 7 year old girl, she's telling me
Acha,
this. You leave me your
acha.
number and tell her to call you back. I said, wow. Then I said, now what to do? So then I saw the sappu wali standing there. She was sending some leafy vegetables and all on the road. So then I thought, let me go and talk to that sappu lady now. Who's going to translate again? So I caught this little girl with me. So the
Okay.
entire basti, she was like my translator, translating English to Kannada. Like, wow, totally. So I was asking her, I said, where are you studying? And, how are you talking such good English, right? And at the end of the day, it was a slum. And she's like, no, my mama sends me some 15 kilometers away into a very nice English school. And
Wow.
that's when I realized that how much women are doing for their children. Mothers will send their kids 15 kilometers away to learn in a good English school, right? So it is a fantastic experience. My first day going into a salon, that poor lady was also looking at. She just went on and on. A
Very
beautiful
sweet. Very
experience.
sweet.
Cherish those moments.
Yeah, yeah. True. So how do you find these people, your ruse? How do you recruit them? Where are they from?
We literally just walk. We walk into slums. The same that first day still continues. We
Acha.
talk to people on the road. We talk to shopkeepers. We talk to sappu ladies. We talk to anybody and everybody on the road. Now people know that these are these weirdos who come over here. The second thing is now we have a full-fledged mobilization team because we've grown. So our own drivers, initially we started out, I remember there was this uh, organization called Head Start from
Mm-hmm.
St. Joseph's College. They do a lot of CSR work. So I just went online and I searched for them. I don't know, I just searched for NGOs into women empowerment. So
Mm-hmm.
they were the first ones who actually opened the door for us into a slum in Kodihali. After
Mm-hmm.
that, once those girls became drivers with us, had worked enough, then I started moving them as mobilizers. So then they started
Okay.
opening the doors inside the slums.
Nice.
We've had a few NGOs as well who have tied up with us, and we do get references from them.
Mm-hmm.
However, still NGO participation is still very, very less. So we've set up our own full-fledged NGO now. The
Okay.
work of the NGO, it's called NEVA Foundation. Their work is to go out there, speak to families, get people enrolled, and bring them aboard. So it takes
Wow.
almost 3 to 4 months of just conversation with their families to get a girl in, and then another 6 months of training. So it's a good 1 year of back end work before you have a ready product on the road driving somebody.
Wow. That's quite a
So
lot of time.
yeah, a lot of time, a lot of gestation, and
Yeah.
thankfully we've touched wood in the NGO. We found donors who were
Mm-hmm.
good, who've joined the cause. We've had Tata Trust, we've had social venture partners, we've got Federal Mogul, Concern India. There are quite a few Mahindra Finance. So slowly, small chunks of support
Mm.
started coming in financially from there.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
quite a tedious job. It's not easy.
Yeah,
I think their
yeah,
job is more, the NGO's job is much more difficult than the business
actually.
arms job.
Hmm, hmm, hmm. Yeah, very interesting because you also mentioned you train them on self-defense and not just the
Yeah.
driving, all of these things, which is very important
Yes.
because ladies driving and maybe weird hours of the day, night, whatever it is. So,
Yeah. So even things like getting to know your car, changing your tires,
yeah,
each one physically gets up and changes, and we actually video them. So nobody can tell me,
okay.
ma'am, I did the course and still doesn't know. So we actually take a video test on in how much time are you changing the tires,
Wow.
and we keep playing this back to them. So we also keep encouraging, see how much you've learned. Yeah, and sometimes they're also low in their lives, and like, hey, you never thought you could do this, right? You never thought you could drive, come on, so you've done it already. So it's
Yeah,
always going back to them and telling them what they're good at and what they can achieve. It's a
yeah,
motivation thing for them.
true, true. So, do these rules have some family issues? They might not allow them to go because there's a taxi driver job or anything like that you came across?
uh, I think yes, we've had family issues, but now the brand has become a little
Yeah.
much better known. Earlier, we did have issues. People thought it was an unsafe job, basically because if you look at any other company like Ola, Uber, you don't know whom you're driving, you don't know where you're going. But our business pattern is very, there's a circumference around it. We build business for that girl in her area. She
Mm.
drives the same kids for the next 1 year. She has the same routes. She has her timings fixed. So it
Yeah.
has kind of now mellowed in pretty well. But yeah, I think the biggest problem we face, sorry to say, but the biggest problem we face is with the mother-in-laws of all these women. So the minute the mother-in-law falls sick, no, this
Yeah.
place. So we've had women who are making 50, 60,000 a month. Okay, I mean, like that's a
Wow.
lot of money. But the fact is, the minute the mother-in-law falls sick, I'm like, you can afford a maid now. You don't need a. But it's like, seriously, that is, I think the biggest dropout for us is because of mother-in-laws. Like, I
Oh,
think it's an ego issue. It's a patriarchy thing that you're supposed to be taking care, and so that's been our biggest dropouts. We've also had dropouts because if the timing doesn't match with her. So many a times they want to go home at a particular time because water comes in the basti at that time. So
okay.
there is no way they will be out of the house. So
Hmm.
there's a lot of differential when you're talking to women working and to men.
Men. Yes.
Men are out 16 hours a day doing taxi driving, but women cannot do that much. There are
True.
kids, there are, water, there are mother-in-laws.
True. True.
There's that you saw that there was that race thing, no, that picture had come where a man is racing full across and the woman has so many obstacles to
Yes.
race and go.
Yes. Yes.
Correct, it
True.
was
Very true.
absolutely in every blend of life, it's the same.
Yes. Yes. Very true. Tell us about your World Bank Award experience because that's a very, very prestigious thing, not just for you, for all of us, because you being a woman, being an Indian, representing us there, it must have been a totally mind-blowing experience. So tell us more about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so there was this contest by the World Bank. They had a contest called SDGs and Her, Sustainable Development Goals and Her. Now, what
Okay.
they're trying to do is trying to see how sustainable goals across the globe happen at very, very micro levels and how much women are contributing into this. So this literally came as a random link to us. We have a lot of supporters, any contest, anything, we keep getting these links. I said, "Chalo, apply kar lete hai." I was really surprised. They did a lot of ref checks, so we had given a lot of references. I knew calls had gone, mails had gone, everything had happened. But I was so shocked when I actually got it. Like they said, "Wow, you've got this award." I was like, you can't imagine, my office is literally 50 square feet. That's it. And we have five people sitting in that office. It's just that small. And out of that, you get a World Bank award. And uh, there were 1,200 applications. So there was one from India, that was me who got this, and there was another lady from Uzbekistan. She got for some green energy, training. The most beautiful part of the entire thing was they sponsored my trip to Washington to go and talk to the World Bank. We are
Wow.
talking to the World Bank, we are talking to IFC, we are talking to Wharton School, we are talking to UN Women, and you're sitting on that stage. You know that you're so small, right? You know that you're a speck, but here is the whole place like, wow, what have you done? I mean, I'm still having the blood gushing in my head when I'm talking about that experience.
Wow.
It was a total celebrity status for us, and um, and this was somewhere, these are also incidents which make you realize that no matter how small you are, uh, what you're doing, the impact that you're creating is being watched. I mean, uh, it's such a big realization actually, that wow, oh, I must be doing something right around here, right? And that experience also opened the whole global world for me. Nobody knew me outside. Today I have at least 300 people who are in conversation with me globally. It just went on and on. And where do you get that? So it was a total eye opener for us. It was not only financial help that they did for us, they just gave us the platform, they gave us the recognition, and all. It was like an Oscar award for us. And for my girls, my girls were so elated when I told them, this is like the bank which holds the whole world, right? And we've gone there because of the effort that you all are doing, the children that you all are keeping safe. At the end of the day, what are we doing? We are drivers, right? I mean, technically, we are drivers. We have cabs, but the impact of it is that we are stopping child sexual abuse, right? Because that unsafe portion for a child away from home is something where we are stepping in as an alternate mom. So the same thing that you do, which is very black and white, technically in a legal term, actually impactfully takes a very different color. It's an amazing feeling. And till date they keep following up with me. I keep telling them, why, I'm looking for funding now, can you just refer me here? Not a single no.
Wow.
Never. In fact, we should be having a report coming in the next couple of months. They postponed it because of the COVID. It's already done, but
Mhm.
there will be something just coming up again in the IFC, and we will be in their panel. So it's a very
Wow.
big thing for us. Yeah.
Fantastic. Congratulations once again. That's a
No,
very, very big achievement.
thank you so much.
Great. So you spoke about recognition, right? Now,
Yes.
how do you think we Indians have a recognition concept here in India? Because you are doing such an amazing job, and there are many, many people who are doing absolutely fantastic jobs. But then
Yes.
we, somebody from World Bank has to come to recognize us.
Absolutely. So trust me, I got this World Bank award, and there was this other lady from Uzbekistan. Like I said, she got the award. And within a day of the award being announced, obviously we are in the RSS fields, wherever the dumps, and I could see a Czech paper, an Uzbekistan paper, already published about her. And you won't believe, the first publishing that came about my award was 8-9 months after the award. So in India,
What?
nobody knew. Yeah, so nobody even picked up that news. But so that, yeah, many a times, वो होता है घर की खेती, घर की
Mhm.
whatever, दाल
घर की
बराबर ना,
मुर्गी
घर का
दाल
चिकनदार
बराबर. Yeah,
घर का it's the
exactly.
same thing, that people outside have a recognition for you, but here, uh, people are not even aware. So even when I'm talking of media, and I've been covered extensively in the media in the last 5 years, but still this was something which the media didn't pick up for almost 6 to 8 months. It's amazing how, okay, whatever. I think we discount ourselves a little more. There's more value for what's happening, and this is also a very big thing about who pushes you right out there.
Yeah.
So even this World Bank link that came to me, somebody pushed it down to me. Somebody
Mhm.
opened their doors, and I think we all need to be opening doors for other people as well. It's like a
Exactly.
give back.
Yeah,
I think that's the biggest
absolutely.
thing that works in the situation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. True. So, tell us about your TEDx experience as well. That's where I met you. And for me, it was an absolute delight to watch you on TEDx. And my ambition in life is that someday I have to go there and address an audience. Obviously, I have to do work to get there. But what was your experience?
So honestly, TEDx, yeah, I thought it will be a great platform to speak at, but TEDx was very special to me on a very different level. Uh, TEDx was the first time that my 16-year-old son was coming with me for any kind of a event. Okay, so he's again, it's always like "Ghar ki murgi dal barabar," right? So, but then that day, he was like, "Oh, I'll come for TEDx." Like TEDx was a big enough name for my son to join me. So he was sitting there in the audience that day, and while I was walking into the arena where I have to speak, that day the whole I don't know how, but they announced my name and I came in to speak, and the whole hall, I think there were about 200 people in that place, everybody stood up. It was like it was a standing ovation before I even started. Okay, like I'm just walking in. It's not that I'm getting a standing ovation after I've spoken, and that was the time where my son realized the impact. I could see that pride in his eyes with so in this whole 200 people I can still see my son on the fourth row over there, and him watching everybody else standing up for his mom. And I think for me that was like, like wow, this was like the biggest award, bigger than anything that I've got today.
True,
And
true.
then when he came back home, he was telling my mom, "Mama, everybody woke up, Nani, everybody got up for my mom." That pride in that boy I saw was everything is settled. For me, TEDx was that. It's the same story. It's the same Josh. It's everything is the same. But that was that realization thing, right? For your family to acknowledge you, that hero thing that you see in his eyes, right?
True,
That my mom's a
true.
hero, and that stood out that day. Very special day
Fantastic.
for me.
Fantastic, fantastic. I love that part, that angle of it. We would never know until you told us, because we only see that you becoming a TEDx speaker is something that we want, we aspire for. But then this angle to it, really beautiful, beautiful. So, your son, how old is he now?
He's 17 years old.
Okay. And I keep seeing your posts again as to how you are training him to do some little bit of a cooking and household chores and all of these things. So what's
Oh,
about that?
lot of things. So like I'm this thought for that I want to do women drivers and all that. I also have this thing that guys should do different things. So, so actually, I've started a new venture with one of my friends called Fiona Martin. We've started a company called Chop Chop Boys. So we are teaching boys how to cook, basic cooking, how to break an egg, how to make your rice, your sambar, those very, very basic. No chef giri and all, just like basic. Learn how to hold a knife and scrape the potato, that. So, because I don't like to cook at all, but I believe that all men should cook. So I'm training him now. My son is my guinea pig for the entire thing. But yeah, so in my house now we're all sharing work, and it's like one person does the jhadu, one person does the pocha, my mother does the cooking, so everything is like nicely botched out and shared. The more important thing is that I've started, he's my first intern, so I've never taken interns till
Okay.
now because I don't know how to teach them. Okay, I mean it's a very different level, they have no experience, so I am learning right now through my son on how do you train an intern, how little work is given to them and trained. So he's my intern. So right now he does the entire scheduling of who goes on what drives, what are the kilometer readings, what's the wastage, does the money come, not come. He's calculating the kilometers between the drives, how much do we
Wow.
charge. So he's so I the entire backend thing I want him to learn, and my backend lady gets freed up for more better things in life that she can do. But yeah, he's daily he's sitting and he's coordinating, and who's going to go for this drive, which car has to go, is the permission done, is the insurance done. He started doing a lot now. So this lockdown has actually helped this relationship also, where I've got time to teach him. I've never
Yeah.
had time to sit with him, always running around. So this is like I'm I'm like trapped inside, and I better make the most of it.
True, true. Very beautifully, you said two things that really struck me. One is learning can be from everywhere, and it's
Yeah.
mutual. We learn from them and they learn from us. So that should always be open. And the second thing is this lockdown period can be a life-changing period for many of us.
Yes, it is. Definitely. It's a very introspective time.
Yeah.
It's a way of forcing yourself to think differently now. And I
Mhm.
think I am a very strong believer that the most beautiful phase comes after the hell. Always. I
Wow.
mean, I've seen this in life.
Mm.
When I'm at the rock bottom, that's when it's like you have that catapult, right? That gulel. You know, we used
Mm.
to hit
Bullet.
stones with it. Yes, exactly. So the more you pull the gulel, and that you need it to be that tight to go that far.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
it's loose, that stone is not going
Then.
to go. And I
Mm.
think this
Mm.
is what life actually does for us also. It pulls us right to the edge, and it catapults you way out ahead.
True.
I'm expecting the same thing to come. So a month back I was crying that we were on zero business. I didn't know how to pay my girls. I was begging people, give some donations into my NGO. How do I pay their salaries? I was literally broken down. And because schools were stopped, my whole business was around schools, picking up and dropping. No corporates, no airports. So what do I do now, right? The only thing I knew was doing that from last 5 years. And then suddenly something woke up. I said, why don't we drive pregnant women to hospitals in this time? I
Mm.
mean, it's needed. They can't stop it. The
Yeah.
child is going to grow anyways, right?
Yeah.
So that's when it forced us to think differently of going into medical transport,
Right.
non-COVID transport. But then we started driving. We have dialysis patients taking our trips thrice a week, 4 times a week. We have pregnant moms who've come in. uh, Suddenly, all I had to do was push the police to give me some passes. In fact, I must say thank you to this lady Rani Shetty. She heads the police department's Parihar segment, where
Mm.
they're actually dealing with a lot of domestic violence cases, etc. And so she's a very strong counseling person there. She heads the department, and she was the one. She said, "No, you go out to the deputy commissioner and you take your passes. I'm going to put in a word." So who's watching you, where, what dots get connected. You
Yeah.
just don't know. 1 month the police was not giving a single pass to me. 1 month everything was getting rejected. Then Rani Shetty calls and says, go and take it, I'm going to do this for you. And
Mm.
out of
Mm.
the blue something so beautiful came out. So many drives, we are totally blocked. We are like sold out. We have just 4 passes, but all 4 are sold out.
Very nice. Very nice. My next question to you is this has been really going well, and I would replay the whole interview myself and watch it multiple times because I've got loads of value from this already. Thank you so much for that. Okay,
Mm.
now tell us, there's another interesting thing that I saw that you are doing, driving foreigners who come here and you take them around places, show them the places, and in a very, very safe way. And
Yeah,
me
yeah,
being a traveler myself, I love traveling, and I have had people who have taken me the same way when I went abroad. So this is something
yeah.
that really fascinates me. Tell us more about that.
So this is a new vertical which we've kind of right now put it on hold. I was supposed to launch this on April 1st formally. It's a vertical called Go Girlies. So what I realized is when I went abroad for my World Bank Award, then I went to Washington, I went to Dallas, I went to New York, and there was always somebody who was taking me around over there. Some friend, some reference. And so I wasn't alone. I didn't know anybody, but by the time I reached there, I had somebody or the other showing me around, basically. So as a woman, we always feel very unsafe in a new place. And I think this is what happens with us, with the expats who come here.
Mm.
Firstly, at Taxi, we realized that we were getting calls 2 months in advance, 3 months in advance. So the
Acha.
foreigners were booking. Yeah, they were sending me an itinerary saying that, hello, should I take a flight that lands at 2 in the morning or 3? What time is your girl there? So that little cab charge, which was like piddly peanuts for them, they
Hmm.
were booking their flight basis what time the cab was available. That's how
Wow.
how scared those women were.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized that this segment of tourists who come in, foreigners who come in, needs special attention. And that's when we coined this segment called Go Girlies, where it's not just about a driver, it's not about a taxi, it's about all us women. I could be a guide for you, I
Yeah.
could be a buddy for you, taking you around, right? It's not garib amir, it is nothing. I mean, I'm like, literally, show somebody around, be their buddy. This lady, go, you also have your own vacation, man, let her pay for your vacations, you take her around, as simple as that. And that so we ran a little segment on this. I think in the first day we had some 65 women just like you and me telling me I want to do this. And it's so much fun.
Hmm.
It's so
Yeah.
much fun not having the girly time out. But yes, now it has to wait with the whole COVID taking over. But
Yeah.
yes, I am waiting. I'm waiting for international travel, and I'm going to start this out right on. And I have people who want to do this. So it's not a taxi service, it's a total buddy service.
Yeah. Yeah. Very nice. Very innovative thinking.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, all of us will love it. So, you spoke about COVID and all the things that you're doing right now in this pandemic. And you are absolutely one of those heroes for us because you've been doing some amazing stuff. So, Vandana, we've got loads of golden nuggets from your story. But what is it that you want to leave our audience with? Any final thoughts or messages that you want to send out to all of them?
So I think you've all seen butterflies, no?
Mm-hmm.
And that butterfly is actually a worm inside that cocoon. And that butterfly, that worm inside the cocoon, if you actually try to open the cocoon, that worm can't move. That
Yeah.
worm has to push, and break his own cocoon to become that butterfly, right? And I think these kind of disastrous problems that we are in right now is possibly that cocoon that we have to break and fly away, and come out into something very beautiful. So every time, and I know I get equally depressed. My God, I'm horribly depressed at times, okay, with all this bubbly side that you see. But then I keep thinking of that worm, I keep thinking of this cocoon around me that I have to break. And maybe that's the way out for all of us, in whatever
Wow.
hellhole that we are.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful and a much needed message for many of us out here. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I'd like to take this opportunity once again for making time during your busy schedule in the COVID lockdown and bringing so much life to Soul Talks with Lavanya, because the stories we want to show to people here, we want to make them more strong, and everybody needs to come out with their story because there are loads of learning from every one of us. That's the sole motto of this show. So thank
Thank
you
you
so much
so
for
much for
being here.
having me. Thank you for having me here. Thank you.
Thank you, and good luck for all your future endeavors.
Thank you so
That was a great interview, wasn't it? I felt more like chatting with my own friend rather than this seeming like an interview. And I'm sure you all must have felt the same as well. There are so many takeaways from her story, my dear friends. Her never say die attitude. She doesn't give up for anything. She can start with a zero all over again and still be as happy as she is today. She is truly an inspiration for hundreds and thousands of all of us here. So I'm sure you have taken your golden nuggets as well. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure having Vandana Suri on my show, and this being the first lady on my show, I am overwhelmed today. Soul Talks with Lavanya was one such platform that was created for people like you and me who want to come ahead and share their stories. Probably someone somewhere could be inspired by listening to your story. Let's remember, my dear friends, no story is small, no message is silly, and vulnerability is sexy. So do not forget to write in your comments, and if you want to contact me, you know where to get me, right? So stay tuned until next week, till the time I get another inspiring story for you and welcome a new guest on the show. Thank you so much. Stay safe, stay home, and stay happy. Bye-bye.